Next, I will explain about the transmission along the transmission of the action potential or transmission of the nerve impulse along the axon. Okay. So I already explained about the action potential. So everyone should know what is the meaning of action potential and what are the mechanism of the action potential. Now I need to explain about the mechanism that the action potential is transmitted along the axon. So as I mentioned before, the action potential, the electrical charge, the nerve impulse will not directly pass through directly one. It will pass through one part to one part. So meaning that when the nerve impulse reach this region, only this region will trigger action potential only. Other region still maintain negatively charged. Okay, so you see there, when the nerve impulse is trigger action potential, so this is the action potential lah, so that the sodium ion is influx into the axon. Okay, so now this region, A region, I say that the A region, it will become action potential. Okay, once that this action potential actually depolarization of action potential. So you still remember that after the action potential, depolarization process will be take place. So when the depolarization is take place, at the same time it will spread the action potential to the neighboring region. Meaning that depolarization of A region will cause the B region to trigger the action potential and reinitiate the action potential there. And then the A region will start to depolarize again and return back to resting state. And then to left of this region, the membrane is repolarizing as potassium ion as outflow. And then after that, this depolarization and repolarization process is repeated. So meaning that at here is depolarization process, right? Okay, so once it already had action potential, it will enter repolarization process. Okay, so when the enter repolarization process, it will initiate again C region. So like this, it will initiate again the C region to trigger the action potential inside the C region, and then the B region will be at the repolarization process. So this is the repeated process. So depolarization will trigger the neighboring region to initiate the action potential of the neighboring region. Yeah, so this is the concept. So this is the explanation actually. So when the action is initiated, so it will create the electrical current, or we call as localized current, right, to depolarize the neighboring region. Yeah. So regions. Yeah. Okay, so when the sodium ion channel is already at here, so actually it will trigger the electrical impulse and starting to depolarize this region. Okay, so normally at the beginning location, okay, and then the localized electron will cause the depolarization of the beginning location and spread this localized electron will be spread to neighboring part of the membrane, meaning that neighboring part of the membrane action potential is initiated by depolarization of the membrane. Yeah, and then depolarization of membrane. So after the action potential, membrane is repolarized back to resting state, right? So this depolarization and repolarization process is repeated. So I repeat again, when the action potential is triggered, depolarization depolarization is triggered, right? And then this trigger depolarization process will trigger the localized electron. So it will starting to initiate B region to trigger the action potential already. Starting only, but not trigger yet. It was starting to trigger when the A region back starting the V polarization, replay RE. When it go to the V polarization state in the A region, then B region will have the action potential. We're starting to depolarize, and then B region depolarize, it will also create the localized electron initiate C region to trigger action potential. And then once the B region go to V polarization, V polarization, it will trigger the action potential of the C region. So this depolarization and V polarization process are repeated again and again until it reach the synaptic cliff. So after the action so this means that the local cover of ion, it cause the plasma membrane, cause the action potential. So there are the localized electron at there. So localized covalent only polarize the axon membrane ahead of action potential, but not produce another action potential, meaning that actually it is to reinitiate the action potential again, but not produce another type of action potential, just continue only. Meaning that at the B region, it just continue the similar type of action potential from A only, meaning that the action potential, the membrane potential for this B region is similar to A1. If A is 30, then B is also 30. If A is 20, then B is also 20. Similar one, no change one. So you cannot say that B region is trigger create new potential. If you say new action potential, then totally no marks as well, because it repeat only. So you need to remember that. Okay, so I think maybe that's all for today. So I already explained about the neuron. So maybe I will proceed to synapse. This is the last topic today. So any questions so far?